Tonight, the students who stepped up at the scene of a crash.
I was really shocked to know that she was just a 12-year-old girl.
First-hand accounts of helping a child.
We can do as best as we can do in the given situation, whatever it is, whatever it takes.
Who was seriously injured. 1 month down in the region's new waste collection system.
Things have definitely shifted more to a day-to-day kind of mode now.
An update on dealing with kinks in the process and making sure the old containers don't go to waste. Plus, good eats.
To see the pride on their faces and knowing that they've gone to this level to potentially compete and move forward and be successful means so much.
The Culinary competition serving up a national spotlight for local students. Good evening. The heroic actions of two Waterloo students are in the spotlight tonight after they helped save a young cyclist. The 12-year-old girl was seriously injured after she was hit by a pickup truck earlier this week. And last night, she was released from the hospital. Let's go live now to CTV's Alexandra Hollick, who's been on this story for us. Alexandra, you spoke with the witnesses. What do they have to say?
That it was a matter of being at the right place at the right time, Tony. And while they say they were left shaken after the incident, they felt like they had no other choice but to step in and take action right away.
I mean, it looked really scary. I was kind of just crossing my fingers that she is still here with us.
Prajval Rao and Eva Ha say they were running late to their class in Waterloo Tuesday morning, but their timing couldn't have been any more critical.
We were waiting for the red light to go green, and all of a sudden we hear a big noise, and we were kind of shocked, and we were just taking a look around like what's going on, and then we see that there was a girl laying down in front of a car truck.
The crash happened around 8:40 in the morning at University Avenue East and Woolwich Street. The 12-year-old cyclist was taken to hospital with serious injuries. While Ha and Rao were driving separately, they both jumped in to help.
I just grabbed my phone, called 911. I see Praj there, like on his knees on the ground and kind of taking care of the girl.
Asking her how she is doing, if she is like okay, which part of her leg is hurting.
Rao and Ha are studying to become personal support workers through a program with St. Louis Adult Learning and Continuing Education Centers. They only started 2 months ago.
We get to learn a lot about the way we should behave when we face situations like this.
That kind of gave us not just the knowledge, but I think also the confidence that we can do as best as we can do in the given situation, whatever it is, whatever it takes.
The pair's efforts praised by the Waterloo Catholic District School Board.
It was pure coincidence that the next day when we found out that the student who was in the accident was one of ours. It really was a testament to the community that's built at WCDSB and also just the caliber of the young people in our schools. And we have so much pride in them.
Ha and Rao say they're happy to hear the young girl is recovering, and they're grateful they could apply what they learned in the classroom to real life.
It feels as if like everything that we did had paid off.
The 46-year-old pickup truck driver from Waterloo is facing 2 Highway Traffic Act charges, including turn not in safety and object obstructing view. Waterloo Regional Police have also charged the girl's parents with allowing a person under 16 to ride a bicycle without a proper helmet. And investigators do not believe excessive speed was a factor in the crash. Tony.
Okay, Alexandra, thank you. CTV's Alexandra Hollick reporting. Brantford police are asking for the public's help as they investigate a fatal crash. A vehicle hit a hydro pole at North Park Street and Charing Cross just before 11 Tuesday morning. The vehicle rolled into the intersection where it was involved in a second collision. Video from the scene showed a dark-colored vehicle with extensive front-end damage and a pickup truck stopped nearby with damage on its driver's side. Police said a Brantford man in his 70s was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. The driver of the other vehicle was not seriously hurt. Police are still investigating the circumstances leading up to both of those collisions. An elderly man and a cat are dead following a house fire in Hamilton. Emergency crews were called to a home on Fennell Avenue East early this morning. A man in his 80s was pronounced dead at the scene, while a woman in her 80s was taken to the hospital in critical condition. Her status was later listed as stable. Hamilton Fire Department says the cat was found dead at the property as well. The cause of the fire is still under investigation tonight. There is mounting political pressure in Owen Sound to send an invoice to 23 anglers who got themselves stranded on a Georgian Bay ice floe earlier this month. They needed to be rescued by helicopter. CTV's Scott Miller has more on the case to send them the bill.
It's been nearly a month since 23 ice anglers were plucked from shrinking ice floes off the shores of Owen Sound. It was a rescue operation that raised the ire of some in the community who felt the fishermen should have to pay back emergency services for their time and life-saving efforts.
Well, there's some community support in holding people accountable for their actions, and some in the community viewed them as reckless actions that day. So I think the motion is providing a voice for those residents in our community that are concerned about the expenditure of their tax dollars in that manner.
Owen Sound's deputy mayor is urging his fellow councillors to have city staff compile and send an invoice for the cost of the Owen Sound Fire Department's response that day to the 23 anglers plucked from the ice. Greg says the warm temperatures, wind direction, and previous rainfall leading up to March 8th should have been clear signs for the anglers to stay on shore.
It was entirely foreseeable and predictable.
Alfie Howe doesn't agree. He was one of the 23 people saved that day. He says the ice was 16 inches deep in some spots that morning, and no one could have predicted the rapid change in weather that led to a 7-kilometer wide chunk of lake ice breaking away from shore.
There's probably 70 to 100 people out there that day, and the unfortunate 23 of us, I think it was, that got rescued, none of us wanted to be in that situation. So I don't really agree with us facing a penalty for it.
Greg says the municipality of Grey Highlands invoiced a hiker over $15,000 for their rescue operation after they trespassed and then fell to the bottom of Eugenia Falls in 2020.
Those guys were trespassing, and there was signs for them not to be there, no trespassing signs, danger signs, and they went ahead and did it.
Greg's ice rescue invoice proposal comes before Owen Sound Council April 13th.
There are examples in the past where municipalities have tried to recoup some of those costs for extraordinary emergency services that have been rendered.
Howe says he is eternally grateful to the emergency responders who risked their lives from that day, but sending him and others an invoice for that rescue is a bridge too far.
I guarantee every single person on that ice will put a lot more caution into it next time.
In Owen Sound, Scott Miller, CTV News.
It's time for a check on the weather. Leanne Evans is in for Ashley tonight on weather duties, among other things. But again, it's a kind of day in the weather department where it keeps us on our toes because of these changing conditions.
Yeah, we allowed Ashley to take a couple of vacation days. You know, she deserved it after all the ones I've been having. So.
I suppose so.
Or we let her have a few days off, but it's a busy day to follow here in the Weather Center, of course. Changing conditions. We saw pockets of heavy rain throughout the day. Can notice it right now here in the Sports World area of Kitchener. I can hear the rainfall pounding our ceiling at the moment. Some areas getting hit harder than others. We've got a yellow watch in place for the extreme southwest through Chatham-Kent, Sarnia, in the Windsor-Essex area for a severe thunderstorm watch. So conditions definitely favorable for storms at times through the evening hours still. And strong wind gusts, of course, comes with that. So you may have noticed a few pop-up thunder showers. We could still see it as we see this system continue to track across our region as we head into the overnight hours. But with this rainfall came very mild temperatures. Right now sitting at 9 degrees, hanging on to that. The wind's actually fairly light here in Waterloo region this hour as well. So coming up a little bit later on, we'll get a first look at the weekend and find out just how warm, Tony, things are going to get next week.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Leanne. We'll talk to you shortly. Amid troubling financial times around the world, the province has tabled its 2026 budget. It's a spending blueprint that the Ford government hopes will guide Ontario down the potentially precarious economic road ahead. CTV's Siobhan Morris has more on the plan and how it's being received.
It's once again called a plan to protect Ontario, a budget delivered a year after U.S. tariffs were introduced. Ontario's in for deeper deficits for longer, even though tariffs didn't squeeze the province's economy as much as feared.
Our plan is cautious where it must be and ambitious where it should be.
The government projects a deficit of almost $14 billion this year, significantly more than the $8 billion predicted in Budget 2025. Next year, a $6 billion deficit, with a return to surplus in 2028-29, a year later than previously planned.
Of course, I'd prefer to have a smaller deficit. I'd prefer to balance sooner. But we have to live in the world we're in.
A world Bethlyn Falvey says still has a lot of challenges. Ontario will spend $244 billion this year. $101 billion of that goes to health, $42 to other programs, and almost $41 billion to education. You've already heard some of the promises in this spending blueprint. $6 billion more for colleges and universities, with an overhaul to OSAP and the end of a tuition freeze. Accounts for elementary teachers to buy classroom supplies, more cash for primary care, and waiving the HST on new home purchases for all buyers for 1 year. But here's what's new. A 1% income tax cut for small businesses, an extra $1 billion for home care over 3 years, $186 million more to the Ontario Autism Program, and $41 million for a program that puts police officers in schools. The government is also setting up a new $4 billion investment fund, working with a private manager to find companies that line up with the province's economic priorities. Think defense, data centers, and tech companies.
Come up with great patents and intellectual property. And then investors come from around the world and buy up those patents and move the offices to wherever, to the U.S., Silicon Valley, move the talent. I want that to stay here.
The opposition feels government priorities are out of line with people struggling to make ends meet.
This budget was an opportunity for Doug Ford to choose a stronger, more affordable future for Ontario. What we heard instead was stale announcements, more cuts, and a missed opportunity to deliver better for the people of Ontario.
There's frustration over government excitement for new highways, an expanded Toronto Island Airport, a possible tunnel under the 401.
These projects are so irresponsible that the government talks about them in the budget and never assigns dollar figures to them because they're too embarrassed.
The Liberals flipped the name of the budget and the government's motto.
They're pretending. They're not protecting.
That report from CTV's Queen's Park correspondent Siobhan Morris. Well, this week's landmark social media addiction trial in California is set to unleash a flood of lawsuits aimed at big tech. A jury found Meta and YouTube purposely designed their products to hook young users and awarded millions in damages to the 20-year-old plaintiff. CTV's Heather Wright has more on what's being described as a wake-up call for the industry.
A damning verdict with global implications. A Los Angeles jury ruling Wednesday that two of the world's most popular apps, Instagram and YouTube, are deliberately addictive, designed to hook young users and keep them scrolling. Experts are calling it a big tobacco moment for big tech.
The cigarette companies, it came out, targeted young people, knowing that that's how they got their lifetime customers. And virtually the identical documents have emerged from social media companies. They target adolescents because they know that their brains aren't fully developed.
Both Meta, which owns Facebook and Instagram, as well as YouTube, have been ordered to pay $6 million US to the victim in this case, who says the platforms left her with body dysmorphia, depression, and suicidal thoughts. The companies plan to appeal, but the ruling is giving hope to those who have been pushing for change in how these companies operate.
We've been talking about for years the idea that consequences eventually catch up with everyone.
Frances Haugen is a former product manager at Facebook who blew the whistle on the company, saying it chooses profit over safety. With hundreds of similar cases working through the courts, Haugen says tech companies could ultimately be on the hook for billions of dollars.
I think it's going to be a wake-up call for tech companies that they need to think about their internal governance processes and make sure that they have the checks and balances in place, that they don't just go for the quick buck.
Among the lawsuits filed against tech companies is one here in Ontario, where several school boards have sued Meta, Snap, and TikTok, accusing the apps of being psychologically manipulative. While the U.S. verdict will not impact any litigation here, it is a sign, experts say, that the conversation is changing. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
Sign up for the CTV News Kitchener newsletter and start your day in the know with local content sent right to your inbox, including a look at the day's top stories, the latest forecast, and some must-see videos. You can head over to our website to sign up. Of course, you'll find that at ctvnewskitchener.ca. Well, just ahead, a check-in on the change to carts. 1 month into the region's new waste collection program, how are the initial kinks in the system being worked out?
Mild temperatures, but certainly a gloomy, dreary, rainy Thursday. We'll see how Friday's shaping up and what's in store this weekend coming up.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We go to a dramatic scene unfolding.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. CTVKitchener.ca, your home for news. When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400. From your screen to ours. Text 10400.
It's been about a month now since the region of Waterloo switched to a cart-based waste collection system. And while the kinks are still being worked out, some are wondering what to do with their old bins. CTV's Colton Weens finds out what the region is suggesting and how the transition's going.
The region of Waterloo's cart-based waste collection is a month old, and while there are some individual issues still, officials say things are going a lot more smoothly than in the beginning.
Obviously, the first week we had a lot of cases and phone calls coming in just because we were collecting garbage and organics for the whole region. Over time, things have settled down and residents are getting used to the program, and our contractors also getting more familiar with their routes and the equipment. So things have definitely shifted more to a day-to-day kind of mode now.
But some are wondering what to do with their old green bin, saying they haven't received much guidance on it, and some have thrown them out. The region says it wants residents to reuse the bins in whatever fashion they can.
We're approaching yard waste season starting next week. One thing we do encourage is if residents want to reuse their old green bins, you can put a yard waste sticker on it. It's a yellow sticker, and then that way it just lets the staff know to collect it for the yard waste program.
Yard waste stickers are available to be picked up or delivered.
Yard waste stickers are available at various region facilities and area municipal buildings. You can also call our Service First Contact Center to get one mailed to you.
If you really don't have a way to reuse your green bin at home and you really want to get rid of it, there are a couple ways that you can do so. You can take it to one of the drop-off locations that the region will be hosting during April and May, or you can take it to one of the region's waste collection sites, and that way the green bin will then be recycled. You can also put it out on your bulky item pickup day, but just so you know, if you do put it out as a bulky item, it will be taken as waste and be sent to a landfill.
You would label the container saying garbage, please take.
And as for the old green bin drop-off events, the region has this list of when and where they will happen. That information is also available online. Quoc reminds residents to double-check their WasteWiz app or the calendar mail-out for their specific collection days. Colton Weens, CTV News.
A Toronto hockey coach whose grandfather was a groundbreaking black hockey player is fighting back after he was fired from his position. As CTV's John Woodward reports, his lawsuit says to get rid of their coach, the team invented a parent complaint and the parent.
You're going to pick the puck up.
Rayne Carnegie is at home on the ice coaching up-and-coming AAA hockey players, sharing what he learned from his time in the Quebec Maritimes Junior Hockey League. And what he learned from his grandfather, Herb Carnegie, a black player denied a chance to play in the NHL, though was inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame in 2022.
I tried to follow in his footsteps, and my son's on the ice right now trying to follow in both of our footsteps.
But much of that was derailed late last year when Carnegie was fired as a coach by the Toronto Titans.
I just got blindsided by it, and ultimately I still don't clearly understand why that happened.
His lawsuit says tension started in August when one coach told Carnegie's 13-year-old son he had dreamt of hitting him with a hockey stick. Carnegie complained to the Titans, which alerted the Ontario Hockey Federation, which determined the coach's comment was a violation of its rules. A few months later, Carnegie was the subject of a complaint from a parent calling themselves Rick Jones, and the Titans suspended him. The OHF found that complaint without merit, saying the entire matter originated from someone identified as Rick Jones. This person has never been identified. Team parents say they've never heard of Rick Jones.
Then we're like, who is it, Rick Jones? There's nobody on the team.
The lawsuit alleges that Rick Jones' complaint was fabricated and was just a pretext to remove Carnegie from his coaching position. The Titans didn't respond to any questions from CTV News. In court filings, they don't identify Rick Jones either, but specifically deny that any decisions made with regard to the plaintiff were made as retribution. Carnegie says he looks to his grandfather for strength to carry on.
That's the biggest thing for me as a father, is if I didn't take this stance, what does that show my children?
Continuing to train his son and many of the players from his former team in the Toronto hockey rink that bears his grandfather's name. John Woodward, CTV News.
Live look from Stratford this evening as the weather continues to threaten us overhead. Some shower activity. Ashley was mentioning yesterday, good idea to have the umbrella around today. And we can see that that's been hit and miss throughout the day for sure. Leanne is back in just a couple of moments to let us know how the weather's looking as we head toward this final weekend in March. And later, free help for your feet, a clinic that's making it a little easier to stay on top of things. But next, target hit. Canada's defense spending reaches NATO's expectations. So what got it there? The story coming up. Well, Leanne's with us for weather tonight. We were talking about how we were both so busy today, we almost didn't even notice what the weather was like because we spent a lot of our day indoors, sort of jumping around from task to task, and we didn't miss much apparently outside.
Yeah, we really didn't. I could hear the rain coming down on the roof pretty hard every now and then, and knew that it was raining, and it wasn't even worth stepping outside today. So we hid and we conquered our tasks and got it all done.
It was a good day to be inside today, I think.
If you were busy inside, don't worry, you didn't miss much out there either. But our gardens are starting to get happy. If we do have some of those flowers in bloom already outside, the grass we're noticing getting a little greener out there too. We're going to take a live look outside and see what's going on from downtown Stratford tonight. Looks like things have dried up in this area this evening. Still cloudy and gloomy and gray out there, but if you've been waiting to try to get out for a walk, now might be the time to do so because it looks like the rain has stopped in the beautiful downtown Stratford. It's been on and off throughout the day here locally and for many of us across southwestern Ontario. However, to the extreme southwest, things were hit a little bit heavier, and we did notice a severe thunderstorm watch in place for areas like Windsor through Chatham, Kent, Port Stanley, London, into Sarnia as well. You can see those pockets of thunder showers moving across the area still to the lower areas of Windsor as well, getting hit with heavier pockets of rain too. As we get into the overnight hours, though, this system is going to move out. We're noticing some warmer air build over the Great Lakes. Cloud cover into the overnight hours, and things clear up. We'll hopefully see some sunshine through the day on Friday. It does look like things will be quite clear right across southwestern Ontario. Unless you are in the area of southern Georgian Bay, you may be noticing some snowfall move into the overnight hours on Friday. We might notice a few flurries here locally on Saturday as well. Okay, rainfall amounts looking at about up to just 3 more millimeters here in Waterloo region into the overnight hours. Like we said, the extreme southwest getting hit a little bit heavier, 12 millimeters of rainfall in the Windsor area. Temperatures were mild with this system, however, which was really nice to see. Nobody likes to be out in the cold, rainy weather, but I think we can handle the rain when it's a little bit more mild. 9 degrees this hour in Waterloo region. It's 8 through London and through the GTA into Hamilton as well. A little bit cooler in Barrie, where it is 4 degrees this hour. We actually got up to a daytime high of 12 12 degrees, double digits here in Waterloo region, and that's actually well above seasonal for this time of year. Usually on this day, we're sitting at about 6. So definitely nice to see the milder conditions. Now we just need a little sun to come along with it. Okay, overnight tonight, things are really going to dip. -10 will be our overnight low, mostly cloudy skies. As mentioned, that cloud will clear as we get into tomorrow morning. May notice a few fog patches if you're up really early, but clearing conditions, temperatures rise to the freezing mark. So a cooler morning. It will feel like -14 if you're waking up very early, warming up to about the feeling of -6. So wear the winter jacket maybe if you're heading out before 10 a.m., let's say. Okay, through the weekend, things look pretty good. By Sunday, temperatures warming up to the double digits and a mix of sun and cloud. We love to see that. Monday, 13 degrees, and things just keep getting warmer by Wednesday, middle of the week, 14 degrees. However, we will likely be seeing some mixed precipitation to come along with that. In the Windsor area, by Monday, 17 degrees, pure sunshine. That's going to be a gorgeous day if you can get out there for a walk on the waterfront in Windsor. And in southern Georgian Bay, we are seeing temperatures take a little bit of a nosedive through the early part of the weekend. But by Sunday, 8 degrees, Monday, pure sunshine, and 12. All right, here is tonight's weather watcher picture. This was sent in from Gord near Baltzer Creek on his morning walk a few days ago. What an encounter there.
Huh. Okay, I'm a little bit like not knowledgeable about wildlife. Is this a coyote?
I think it is a coyote. That's what I'm going with. And I don't have too much context because I will say Ashley is on a half vacation day, so she picked the weather watcher. So thank you, Gord, for sending that in. But I think this is a coyote. Should we phone a friend?
I was going to say, yeah, let's phone a friend. I was going to say wolf at first, but you know what? Our viewers are fantastic. We're going to hear from them about what it is.
Yes, we certainly are. They know our wildlife. They know our flowers. When we can't quite get it right.
That's right.
they always let us know. So thank you. If you think that is a coyote, yes, Alan's giving us the thumbs up. It's a coyote.
It's coyote, keeping us honest.
There we are.
All
Thanks,
right.
Gord.
And thank you, Leanne.
Thank you.
Well, for the first time since the Cold War, Canada's hit NATO's target of spending 2% of GDP on defense, an increase that's expected to transform the military. It amounts to more than $60 billion a year. CTV's Judy Trin now on the milestone and what got us there.
After touring a warship, the Prime Minister announced that Canada had taken aim at a NATO target and hit its mark.
In 10 months, we have invested over $60 billion in our defense and security. And as a result of these efforts, this morning, NATO confirmed that Canada has achieved its 2% defense expenditure target.
Getting from 1% to 2% has taken 12 years. Progress has been slow until Carney's investment surge in 2025. For the first time, all 32 NATO members have reached the 2% target.
For too long, European allies and Canada were over-reliant on U.S. military might.
The 2% pledge was first made in 2014. Conservative Prime Minister Stephen Harper didn't want to do it.
I'm certainly not going to spend on a massive military expansion just for the sake of doing so.
Under former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, Canada was called out on the international stage.
Talk about riding on America's coattails. They have the safety and security of being on our border.
Movement didn't happen until the biggest player in the alliance uttered threats.
And they said, if you don't pay your bills, we're not going to participate, we're not going to protect you.
Canada may have spent more than $60 billion on defense in 2025, but the military is still short about 15,000 soldiers, and from jets to ships to submarines, half of the equipment isn't working.
We are still waiting for new submarines. We are still waiting for new tanks and other armored vehicles for our Army. And we are still a long way from having new warships.
The overall readiness, the ability of the military to actually conduct a military operation or go to war is at a multi-generational low point right now.
Going forward, Canada and other NATO members are committing to spending 5% of GDP on defense by 2035. For Canada, that means spending $150 billion annually. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
New details about a BC mother and her 7-year-old daughter who has autism, who were being held by U.S. immigration officials in Texas, despite having legal documentation to be in the country. CTV's Abigail Beeman spoke with the mother today.
I'm in jail. It's a detention facility. I've been unlawfully detained.
7-year-old Ayla Lucas and her mother, Tanya Warner, were moved to a different Texas detention center known as Dilley. She tells CTV News in a phone call Ayla is very itchy from a large rash her mom believes is caused by stress and the commercial cleaner they're given to clean their ICE-provided clothing.
She's pretty stressed out. She's taking it really well. I would have to say she's my #1 hero.
The pair was detained at a border checkpoint on the way back to their home in Kingsville, Texas from a baby shower March 14th. Both Canadians working towards their green card. Tanya and her American husband Edward Warner maintain all their paperwork is valid. It has been an extra complicated immigration process due to his history as a registered sex offender from an incident in 1999 while a teenager. The Department of Homeland Security sent CTV News a statement saying in part, if you overstay your visa and are in the country illegally, you will be arrested. ICE does not separate families. Parents are asked if they want to be removed with their children, or ICE will place the children with a safe person the parent designates. Warner says she was never given a choice.
I think a lot of this is incredibly cynical and if not misleading.
Carrie Doyle was once ICE's principal legal advisor in Biden's administration, then an immigration judge fired by Trump's. She says the conditions at Dilley are concerning.
So certainly to arrest a young child who's also, I understand, has special needs, and her mother is just, to me, really bad use of resources and traumatizing this family needlessly.
And the government that's supposed to protect people tore her out of her environment and forced her into a processing facility and then into incarceration. This is going to be one of her core childhood memories.
The local congressman calls Tanya part of the fabric of Kingsville, while a BC MLA, where Tanya is originally from, has also taken up their case. Amelia Boultby says it's the talk of Penticton.
I'm in touch with various contacts at the federal government to see if we can find a legal or diplomatic avenue to either secure their release or speed up the process.
And I can assure you that we are in touch with the family and we are doing all we possibly can to advocate for the well-being of Canadians.
Meanwhile, Tanya tells us she has a bond hearing Tuesday and that legal costs are destroying her family. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
They didn't stay down for long. Just ahead, gas prices back up as consumers pay for wild wartime market swings.
Stars on Ice skates into Canada Life Place Sunday, May 3rd, and CTV Kitchener has your tickets. Enter now for your chance to see the nation's brightest figure skating stars take center ice this spring. Enter now at ctvkitchener.ca.
With an end to the Iran war in question, oil prices surged again today. The price of diesel now up by more than 40% in the last month. CTV's John Venevali-Rao on the impact.
For truckers across the country, as they pump pricey diesel into their trucks, the numbers are numbing to look at.
Diesel prices are going very high. It's like huge difference.
At Toronto-based CSA Transportation, they move all sorts of products from clothes to health supplements from its terminals to cities across the country and into the U.S.
Yep, these are all going to be filled up.
The VP of Operations, Rebecca Herbsch, showed us some of the trailers ready to be loaded. And with the price of diesel surging, she says the trucking companies they partner with have been charging them a lot more.
They want to raise their rates. They want a fuel surcharge. Some of them are charging 40, 50, 60, 70. We even saw 80% fuel surcharge one day.
Herbsch says after holding off, her company raised its freight rates on Monday, though hasn't yet passed on the full costs of rising fuel to customers. Still, she says if the war continues and diesel stays high, consumers will soon see the result when items hit store shelves.
It means that the cost of products is going to go up. The more that vendors have to pay us to move their goods, especially cross-border, the more that we're going to be paying for goods.
And for those truckers who pay their own fuel bills, the soaring price is hitting hard. The cost to fill up a truck like this that holds about 1,000 liters of diesel has gone up around $700 since the start of the war. Benit Puri owns 4 trucks and says his fuel costs have gone up around $4,000 a month.
Need to have prices down, man. Just give us a break.
He says his credit cards are getting maxed and wants to see governments cut taxes on diesel.
We're driving trucks. We're providing food. I work for Walmart, right? My company works for Walmart, and we deliver up north, right? So, I mean, we are struggling 24/7. If they can give us some discount on that, some relief on that, that would be great.
With those in the trucking business worried fuel prices will go even higher and warning it will show up in just about everything. John Venavelli-Rao, CTV News, Toronto.
Alexandra Hollick is in studio with our top stories now. You spoke with a pair of students today who stepped up to help save a young cyclist.
That's right, Tony, and it was while they were on their way to school in Waterloo Tuesday morning. They're studying to become personal support workers and happened to be at the right place at the right time. The pair worked as a team to call 911 and check on the 12-year-old girl who has since been released from hospital. The driver, a 46-year-old Waterloo man, is facing Highway Traffic Act charges. Regional police have also charged the girl's parents. The region of Waterloo's new waste collection system has been rolling out for a month, and while things seem to be running more smoothly, there are still some questions about what to do with old green bins. The region wants residents to reuse their old bins as much as possible, but those who want to get rid of them can bring the bins to a regional waste collection site or throw them out on a bulky item day.
And we have from our website tonight, Alexandra, a sad update on a story that nonetheless we had been following closely and wanted to let people know about this, and it concerns a puppy with partial mobility.
That's right, Tony. Valor, the mini poodle golden retriever mix, was surrendered to Hobo Haven Rescue last fall, and he was nearly ready to find his forever home after a trying medical journey. But then his health took a tragic turn. Today, the rescue sadly announced Valor had passed away. For more information on this story and a recap of Valor's journey, you can scan the QR code on the bottom left of your screen, head to our CTV News app, or visit our website, ctvnewskitchener.ca. Tony.
Heartbreaking, but, you know, heartwarming to know how many people were trying to get Valor a home and think of his best interests. All right.
Absolutely.
Alexandra, thank you. A free foot care clinic in Kitchener is aiming to give the community a leg up on health and mobility and keep more people out of the hospital. CTV's Jeff Pickle explains.
Any changes or concerns you have with your feet?
Some people are a little shy when it comes to their feet.
I've got the worst toenails in the world, the thickest toenails.
Helen is not one of those people, but she is one of over 180 patients who have used the free foot clinic in Kitchener since it opened in December.
And my feet used to kill me just going in shoes, and since Brianna, I don't have these issues with my feet.
Living with diabetes, Helen says taking care of her toes is a top priority.
If you don't take care of your feet because of the diabetes, there is a big risk in losing your foot, and there's also a risk in going blind.
According to Helen's nurse, Brianna Ramsamy, good foot health is critical to overall health.
Sometimes they're unable to do the toenail trimming, so their nails kind of become overgrown, and it becomes an issue with mobility and just their daily activities.
Along with improving mobility, Ramsamy says a quick checkup at their clinic can help prevent more serious complications, including a former patient who had serious circulation issues.
Well, if he hadn't come in and we hadn't caught it soon enough and hadn't been kind of advocating for him to connect back with his primary caregiver, he could have lost his toe or potentially lost his foot.
Serving mostly seniors and lower income patients, the clinic is open to anyone.
So our team here also helps to navigate the system. If you need to figure out how do I get access to a specialist.
They believe a free clinic in a church basement can keep people away from the hospital.
If foot care is overlooked, it can lead to serious health complications, including hospitalization and at times even amputation.
According to Helen, it's a one medical appointment she actually enjoys.
Well, I like coming here and getting this done. Yeah, this is great. Then I can go home and dance around the kitchen. And
Jeff Pickle, CTV News, Kitchener.
Well, T-minus 24 hours to the season opener. Just ahead, the Blue Jays on the start of a new campaign following a World Series appearance. Just over 24 hours from now, the first pitch of the Toronto Blue Jays home opener. Fans are excited after a season that came so close to a World Series win. Here's CTV's Mike Walker.
On the eve of opening day, the Toronto Blue Jays are heading into their 50th season with high expectations, motivated to win after last year's World Series run.
Bueno, la verdad, it's just the same. I mean, going out there and keep working very hard, trying to do everything to win every game.
Grounder to short, and the Dodgers turn it.
The Blue Jays haven't forgotten about the heartbreaking loss to the LA Dodgers in Game 7 of the World Series, but manager John Schneider says that moment won't define this team.
What will is how we handled ourselves, how we played, and what that does for us going forward. That should be the definition of what we take out of 2025.
Now we know we can kind of match up with any team, and but that also kind of puts a bullseye on our backs.
Kevin Gausman will take the mound against the Athletics, his first opening day start since joining the Blue Jays.
Being able to be on that team last year and then start the first game of this season, to me is just the ultimate, level of respect. And I definitely don't take it for granted.
The Blue Jays added depth to their starting rotation, acquiring Cy Young contender Dylan Cease. But that rotation will be tested right away, with Jose Barrios, rookie sensation Trey Yesavich, and Shane Bieber all on the injury list. The infield will also look different following Bo Bichette's departure to the New York Mets and newly acquired third baseman and slugger Kazuma Okamoto from Japan.
I think we got more leverage, some of the adjustments and stuff like that, so we're going to be the best. There's no doubt about it.
They easily should have won last year, so I think their chances are excellent.
While the Blue Jays won't define success as World Series or bust, GM Ross Atkins believes this roster is much stronger than last year.
Bolstering our pitching was a very clear goal and one that we feel that we accomplished. And then the addition of Okamoto is something that we're very excited about with the experiences and the growth of the players.
As part of the pregame festivities, the Blue Jays will unveil their 2025 American League Championship banner, a moment Guerrero Jr. says will be full of emotions. Mike Walker, CTV News.
Well, Leanne, if that were tonight, the Dome would certainly be closed based on the map I see behind you.
I was going to say the same thing, Tony. It certainly would be. And you know what? It might be tomorrow, too, because while we are going to see some sunshine, it's going to be chilly. We're going to talk all about that in Wake Up Weather next. They are heroic first responders, and you can watch their family sagas of power and glamour in 911 Nashville tonight. It's followed by Grey's Anatomy. If you're tuning in earlier, you got The Big Bang Theory, Georgie and Mandy back-to-back episodes.
All right, Alexandra is back with a look at what our team's following for later tonight.
Tony, after a long road with the regular season, the 2026 OHL playoffs are finally here. Tonight, the Guelph Storm are looking for a win in Windsor as they take on the Spitfires in the first round of the postseason action. Puck drop for Game 1 is just minutes away, and we'll have the highlights along with more local news tonight at 11:30. Tony.
Excited to start following the postseason. Alexandra, thank you. And Leanne, I don't think it would matter if you were in Guelph or Windsor tonight. You'd probably be dealing with the threat of rain.
Oh, you most certainly would, especially if you are down in the extreme southwest. Severe thunderstorm watches in place for folks in the Essex County. But for us, we're getting this rain out of here by tomorrow morning. We are going to end the week with plenty of sunshine, colder conditions, especially waking up. It'll feel like -14, but by the afternoon should be a pretty great Friday.
Don't love those minuses, but we'll be rid of them soon enough.
Take the sunshine.
Yes, good call. Take the win. Finally for us, 4 Waterloo Region students put their cooking skills to the test in the qualifying round of a culinary competition.
The winners could compete at a national level. Here's CTV's Karis Map.
Chopping, whisking, paring. Hospitality students were hard at work at Monsignor Doyle Secondary School in Cambridge. 2 competitors had home kitchen advantage, representing Waterloo Region's Catholic School Board, while 2 others represented the public board.
I've just been cooking since grade 9 because I just got open to that gateway and I've loved it ever since.
The competition is part of a provincial initiative for young people eyeing a future in the skilled trades.
I'm going to continue working at Wildcraft for the next foreseeable future, at least, and then I'm going to Conestoga this September.
Others got involved to expand their life skills.
I'm going to want to learn how to cook. That's really important to me. So I also had issues like I didn't want to handle meat. I didn't like touching raw meat, and I got over that taking this course.
For one competitor, cooking has been a life-saving passion project.
I have a peanut allergy myself, so life's been pretty hard going to restaurants and trying to check to see the ingredients in foods. So I just fell in love with cooking as soon as I could.
Running since 1989, the competition sees student chefs race against the clock to prepare the perfect dish.
This year it is chicken chasseur, a French classic traditional dish. It will showcase many technical skills.
With apple tartine for dessert.
This morning we started off with all the preliminaries, the precision cuts. Then it went right into fabrication of chicken. Once that's completed, it is judged by our professional community chefs.
The critics say confidence is key.
Know your skills, know what you're doing. And I guess biggest thing too is also follow the recipe. Understand it, study it, and just apply.
Once the cooking and judging is complete, the top competitors from this qualifying round will head to London next month for regionals, and then after that, the best of the best will get to showcase their talents at provincials in Toronto come May.
To see the pride on their faces and knowing that they've gone to this level to potentially compete and move forward and be successful means so much.
Kara Smapp, CTV News, Cambridge.
Incredible talent, and we wish them well.
Yeah.
But I'll let you in on a little secret. Last year, I couldn't make it home for Thanksgiving. I was generously invited to the Evans family Thanksgiving. You and your culinary skills.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you,
What you don't know about Leanne Evans in the kitchen.
Hidden talents, let me tell you.
Michelin star quality. Have a good night.